Michael, what do you think with, there are so many people who are like, and you're good at this, good intuition, gut check, you kind of got a feel for people, like you've got experience with humans in general.
I do have that.
And, like, talk to us about maybe the balance of where intuition comes into play and extending trust based on that they are a competent person maybe, and maybe you just don't know all the behind the scenes things. Because I think people feel justified not trusting because they have an intuitive sense.
Right.
Which is also legit.
So when it comes to intuition, what we're talking about in like a very simple sense is feelings.
Okay.
And because when you have like,
is it?
It is.
Okay.
It's your thinking feeling mixture that happens. Like this looks familiar. I get a feeling because someone's tone or behavior looks very familiar to what I have seen before.
Okay.
And so I do think intuition is real. I'm not discounting it. Because I do consider myself to have intuition. However, I want to start off saying this because I know for sure that myself and anyone's feelings can be wrong.
Yeah.
We can't always trust that, but here's what we can do. Anytime you have, and this is where I think things come together, you build the bridge.
Build the bridge here.
Yeah, you build the bridge.
You're working, Monica's so good.
Because when you have a feeling, you have an intuition, and as I mentioned before, there's so many. All humans have experienced betrayal, broken trust. Okay, that's no one is unique in that way.
Yes.
And so we will have feelings or knee-jerk reactions or just a general sense. Some people just completely shut down. They don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, but we will have that sense and that feeling, and I do believe that the bridge over into trusting people and really managing what is the right level of trust, because no, you shouldn't trust everyone to the depths of your soul. But so the bridge over is definitely communication. So especially if you have an intuition, a gut check, and you work with somebody, because we're talking about the workplace. So to me, it goes to, I have a question. I have something I want to talk about. Whether it's with a peer or with a leader or something, you've got to be able to communicate it, or else the bridge will never be built, and you won't be able to measure rightly how much should I trust them. So I do think that communication is the key, and then this versus that. It's like they shouldn't work against each other. They should be working together.
It's kind of a funny idea. We're talking about, should I trust my intuition? Like, if I'm going to trust my intuition, I'm going to back those feelings up with communication, exploring what that's really from. Because also you mentioned earlier, judging people now from people in the past, or present experiences with past experiences, and kind of transcending them as if they're the same thing, and they're not. And we have that tendency.
Yes. People go from job to job to job because they're like, this boss, this overseer broke my trust. I'm leaving. Then they're like, they leave, they go somewhere else, and they're like, oh, that looks like this. I'm leaving. Yeah. And really they don't give anybody a chance.
They probably wouldn't see it that way.
Well, I'm just saying what I've heard, I'm interpreting, and I'm like, I see a pattern here and a common factor.
Yeah, and
would you agree? Trust but verify.
Trust would, I think, communicate.
Trust but verify. Like,
I mean, that's a pretty old saying. Trust someone, but follow up and make sure they did what they said they were going to do.
Yes.
Verify their activity. Verify their.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there a place of trust that new boss, but verify that there's clear communication, or that this place is safe?
Yes.
Like,
and
are
I do
there
think
indicators for verification that people can follow?
And I do think, I mean, not to be too doomy gloomy, but like there is a lot of shady people out there these days. And like, can I be
you
that
heard it
real?
here first.
There are questionable characters
here first.
at work.
I'm just
shady is out there.
That was just a fun way to put it.
Yes.
And so
But
I do think, like, yes, that it is possible that someone could be like, wow, it's happened here, and then I went to go somewhere else and it happened here again, and you know, that is That does happen. So
Yes. And when you say shady, there's a couple different levels of shade.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes it's mostly that the person is more self-interested than others interested.
That's true.
That we make the determination, hey, I've interacted with them and they seem to care more about themselves
There's
and their
levels to
career and what they want and not me.
Right.
And I think that's why caring is such a huge component of why the filter I use for trust, because when you feel like, and no, not feel like, when you see someone care about someone else, care about the client, care about the process, care about our standards, you feel like I can trust them because they're putting a priority on something beyond themselves.
I do think, and I think whether you are an employee or a leader, that you're absolutely right. Like the way to earn trust, like I have the same interest as you. I want this whole thing to succeed. So it's not just the leader, it's also the employee. Like if you want to have trust, then you have got to express in a manner of ways that you have this the whole thing, that you have its best interest in mind. Like you want everything to succeed.
That's interesting. I don't know if you heard what she just said, John, but this idea of I will trust you more if you value the same outcome I value.
Absolutely.
That there's a mutual.
It's a shared
outcome
vision.
we're working
A mutual shared vision.
It sounds a whole lot like an ownership culture.
It does sound like an ownership culture.
I heard a guy
and you know when
one time who said this.
when we do the mousetrap exercise, vision is a huge part of what causes trust to happen.
Yes.
Because what most people don't realize is when we ask someone to trust us, it immediately puts them at a disadvantage. We feel vulnerable if you say, Greg, trust me, just trust me on this one. Then all of a sudden it feels like I'm the one taking the risk.
Yeah.
If I trust you, then I'm the one at risk because you apparently already know what you're asking me to be a part of. And so I think oftentimes leaders and even colleagues don't grasp when we want someone to trust us that there's a huge risk on the person's part to do that.